Hi, this is Woody with Next Level Board Games, and today we're going to unbox Wingspan Asia, which is the third expansion to Wingspan. This game is designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, illustrated by Natalia Rojas and Ana Maria Martinez Jaramillo, and it is published by Stonemaier Games. So this game is a little bit different, this expansion, because it can be standalone for 1 to 2 players, which is, I think, a little bit unique. I don't remember the other game's expansion saying that. So let's find out what's inside. So I love the cover of this box with the big peacock. It's absolutely beautiful. I didn't realize the peacock was an Asian bird. Anyway, so there's that. Here's the directions. So again, I kind of mentioned already, this game can be played as a standalone for 1 to 2 players. You can see here, which is, I think, different, but then also it makes it to where you can play with 6 or 7 people. Oh my gosh, can't imagine playing Wingspan with 7 people, but if you had people that make quick decisions, it might be fine. So a little bit of so this is probably longer than you need it to be, like if you've played before, because like turn structure, like most of us, or if you've already played, you know how to play, but it's including everything, right? Everything you can do, the different actions and stuff. So for people who have played, this is probably only going to have a little bit of differences. So different bird powers and things like that. Okay. An appendix. I love that they do this because they basically give us all the different symbols and what the different things mean, the cards, the powers. It makes it really easy to understand all the different things. If you have questions, those are super handy. We appreciate those. This is going to be solo play rules. So also it's nice that those aren't all in the same book. So if you have ever played before, you know that one of the things you do is you have birds that lay eggs. So here are some bird eggs. These are like a burgundy wine color. So there's a bunch of those. What else? Oh, we're going to have dice, right? Because if this is a standalone game, it's going to have all the parts. Okay. So let me grab, oh, all kinds of stuff in here. Let me grab a couple of these. So here's the 5 wooden dice. And I was curious if they had, they don't have nectar. So the last expansion included nectar on the dice. These are not going to have that. These are like the original dice, the OG. Okay, so there's those. And then what else was in there? Oh, something new. Oh, wow. There's cubes and little moon raindrop apostrophes. I'm not sure what these are. So there are little cubes and also apostrophes. But, oh yeah, they go together. So there's almost like the yin and yang sign, right? Maybe they're feathers? Not sure. Okay, so there's those. I'll have to figure out what those are for. Those are unique. Oh, these are just more bags, I think. Yeah, just more bags. These bags are really interesting. They have like a really soft finish. Okay, so then these. Oh, now we have black ones. Okay, so black cubes, just like the white ones, and then the black, maybe feathers? I guess that makes sense. I really don't know. Okay. So a little container to put your resources in. Gosh, this looks really different. Okay. And then bird cards. If you've ever played, you recognize the back. They look like this. All the cards look like this. Or I should say all the bird cards look like this. So when you're building a bird or adding one to your board, this is the stack you pull from, and then you can have a bunch in your hand. So, so these look like this. So all different kinds of birds, and same as before. So the end of game value for them, what kind of nest they have, how many eggs they can lay, where you can build that bird, or what habitats they could be part of, what it costs to add that bird to your habitat, and then any special abilities are down here. Also, the cards, you'll notice, always have a little symbol in the corner if they're from an expansion, and they show what part of the world they're common in, and usually a little bit of comment about it. So that's kind of how the cards break down. So the different colors here have an effect of when they actually happen. So like yellow is game end. These are basically when you activate that round power. The blue is at the end of a round. Pink is can happen at any time, so on other players' turns. And then the white ones are usually like when they're played, and sometimes they're done. So anyway, those are those. So that's a bunch of the bird cards. And there's a whole nother stack. So there's 2 stacks that size. So this is a lot of bird cards. If you have bought the other expansions, you know that you can't even get all the cards into a single game. So we usually try to like grab all the cards and break them up into different stacks and shuffle them, and then just continue breaking them up so that it gets the variety, and you get some of the cards, different cards each time. And every time we play, somebody says, "Oh, I've never seen that bird before." So here's some more of the bird cards, and the similar, same kind of thing. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that duck. So pretty. Anyway, there's beautiful birds in here. As always, all the birds are always amazing. So it's a fun strategy game, but also the birds are amazing. So if you like animals at all, you probably love this game. Okay, so there's more bird cards. Then score sheet, which these come, I think these have come with every single game of Wingspan, which is really nice. We like those. And then more cards. So these are going to be your special task cards. I can't think of the right name of it, but basically, usually at the beginning of the game, you get to pick 2, or you're dealt 2 of these cards, and then you get to decide which one of the goals you want to go after, and they're like end of game goals, right? And so everybody has something unique, and you don't know what they have. So even if it looks like somebody's killing it, you never know what's going to happen until the very end. So these are sort of those special ability cards. I know there's another name for it. I just can't seem to remember what it is right this second. So those all have this back, and you'll have a bunch of these if you already have the original game. But it's nice that there's so many. If this is being a standalone, this is a lot of different variety that would add to your games, even if you were only playing this one. And I believe this is all, let's see here. These, with this symbol, those are all for solo mode. And you can tell because, let's see. Usually they have it, I see it here, but usually they have it in the book. But I think it's just here, so it shows the little symbol. So let me solo mode. Okay, and then, I don't know what these are. What's this one? Here's a couple more. Wait, this has the same symbol, so that's going to be solo mode too. These might all be a solo mode. Yeah, okay. I think those are all solo mode cards. Okay. So aside from these ones that didn't have any other little symbol, it's hard to see, but let me see if I can show you. These ones up here in the corner have that little symbol for the solo mode, and this one does not. That's how you can tell the difference. And they did break them up, so it was easy to see if you just paid attention. I just didn't catch it right at first. Okay, so then there's this. This must be, oh wow. So we have one of these round ones now, but they're not cardboard. They're just like a sheet, and it's much smaller. Like it's probably like this size. It's much smaller. So this is actually really cool. It's really big. And then, so here's some cards, and I'm not sure what all these boards are for. How interesting. There's a bunch of stuff in here I'm not familiar with, but here's your normal food token. So when you roll these dice, these are the kinds of foods you can get. And these are the end of round goals that can be over here. These are randomized, you put here. So here's some new ones. Oh, and these are showing the new little symbols, the little feathers or whatever they are. So we don't know how they work, but they're on the end of round goals. So that's cool. Those are definitely going to go together. Oops, this might be the first player token, if I had to guess. It's absolutely beautiful. Peacock. And then this, I'm not exactly sure what this is for. I'm guessing this is for flock mode 6 or 7 people. It must be. I don't know what else it would be used for. Then same with this, same with these 2 little pieces that say 6 and 7. That's got to be for when you're playing with 6 or 7 people, right? Then a bunch of more food, some of the more food tokens, and then these say, use this guide in cards to help a new player learn Wingspan's duet mode. Okay, so that's nice. They tell you right here what this is for. So this is learning how to play duet mode. Oh, which uses this part of the board. So then the other side, yeah, just keeps telling you how to play that. So that's kind of nice. And then last but not least are the player boards, right? If you've ever played, you've seen these. Oh, and actually, interestingly enough, the boards have the nectar symbol that I was talking about earlier. So here, this is the nectar symbol, and it's here. These are the ways you can use it. So this was the second version of the player board. The original version did not have the nectar symbol. That wasn't part of the game. That came out in a later expansion. So this does account for that, even though it doesn't have nectar tokens with it, but that's, I'm assuming it's so you can use it with that expansion if you were playing in flock mode with 6 or 7 people. So that's a really thoughtful way to do that. This must be part of like duet mode. I'm not sure. Oh, so I guess you can play sans the nectar. So this was without the nectar. This is what the original board looked like. Although I don't remember the picture looking like this. I swear, I think the picture's changed. So that's everything that's in the Wingspan Asia expansion, which is both expansion and also a standalone game, which is a really cool. Like if you were wanting to play this and you wanted to travel and you knew it was only going to be 2 of you, this would be a fun way to take a big size game like Wingspan, but in a much smaller, I have stuff in here, but in a much smaller box than like the original, which is full-size game, right? There's a lot of bird cards, as there always is. So, I mean, it's like 2 decks of cards. It's a lot. Quite a few of the different bonus cards. 2 player boards that are double-sided. So one for the playing with the nectar, which was in, I believe, I think the last expansion, and the second expansion, and then the original sideboard. So depending upon how you want to play it, that's nice. A little container to put things in. I noticed it seems like this game was a little bit more eco-friendly if compared to before. I think the bags are different. This is different. The original ones were plastic, and this is more of just like kind of like a light cardboard type material. So it seems like they're leaning more towards being eco-friendly, which I really like that. There was definitely some new icons that I had, or tokens that I hadn't seen. I think maybe that they're feathers, but I'm not 100% sure. They came in black and white, so we'll have to figure out what those are for. Bird eggs, and a bunch of tokens. So again, because this is a standalone game, there's kind of like all the stuff you would need to be able to play that you would expect, plus some extra stuff. And you could play with 6 or 7 people if you could. And that's everything that's in Wingspan Asia. Thanks for watching Next Level Board Games.